battle rages on, my life is starting to look like pages blown by a shameless wind from some tragic book as the battle rages on. I fought a long losing battle with the bottle again last night.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dallas Live. I am your host, Dr. RC. You are listening to Nelson Trout, and the number to call is 469 307 1642, 1642. All right, Nelson, you may not be able to hear the song because the way it is set up here, but our audience heard it. I heard it. It talks about the long losing battle with the, losing battle with the bottle rages on. And you also talked about jukebox and Muhammad Ali. How did they fit into this?
Can you repeat that, Robbie?
Oh well, the song is a great song. It's a fantastic song.
Well, thank you.
It also I heard some lyrics, and I'm not good at these lyrics, but you also talked about jukebox, and also I heard Muhammad Ali. How did they fit in?
Oh, well, they just fit in the song. It was a descriptive, very descriptive lines. They were very strong lines.
Uh-huh.
It helped to get the song published.
Okay.
And how it just worked with the song, and we went into the recording studio and recorded it, and it came out great. So
it's a great song. It's a really fantastic song. Okay, now let's get back to the next portion of our segment. In that book you talked quite a bit about yourself, a little, but also can you tell us, because I want my audience to hear at least one or two stories of other people. For example, the story of the girl who, used the syringe to splash the clot into the ceiling, and then that's how you came up with the blood on the ceiling. But some of the stories, and I remember one person, one boy. And his father died, and it was heartbreaking for me to read that story. His father died, his mother married another fellow, and he had already 4 kids. There are so many different stories like this, and unfortunately, the stepfather abused him, and I guess one of his stepbrother sexually molested him. And I can imagine if somebody goes through that type of a trauma in their young life, they're not going to have a good time when they grow up. They, instead of fighting this, they probably felt that they themselves are not good enough. They felt that they deserve it or something like that, and then they go deeper into depression. Is that how this whole thing works out?
Exactly. Yeah. Depression is a big part of it, and people take pills and they drink and things like that to cover because they're depressed about something very traumatic that happened. Usually back in their childhood. Remember, like the one kid whose father used to punish him by making him drink hot sauce, and then he would beat him with the belt. He would make him go to the store and pick out the belt, and he'd make him go to the delicatessen and get the hot sauce, things like that. And that turned him to drugs because he wanted to escape those memories and those thoughts. And like you said, that's what happened to most people. Most of the stories in this book, I know they seem totally incredible, but they're true, and they're the things that happen. And and also in the book there's a lot of success stories too.
Yes, they are.
Most of the stories I take you through the hard times and some of the incredible, unusual things that these people went through. And usually, at the end of the story, they came through and they kicked the habit. But many did not kick the habit. Many people couldn't do it. And I talk about how we are as a society. It's becoming very prevalent to to be addicted to something. And you see every day almost on television where a famous star dies
Overdose.
from addiction, yeah, from overdose, yeah.
Right. Now, in your book, you talked a few times about that you being a functional alcoholic or a functional drug addict. Explain to our audience what do you mean by that?
Well, that means that you can be drinking every day and actually be you would actually be technically an alcoholic, but by the same token, you do your job. You're a good family man, a good husband, a good wife, a good worker. You do all these things, and so you're functioning in society properly. But by the same token, behind closed doors, you are an alcoholic or a drug addict.
So basically, you are fooling yourself because others might have noticed it, because other family members might have noticed it, saying that wait a minute, he may be functioning, but he has a deep-seated problem. Is that what you find in your case?
Well, yeah, you fool yourself. You're right, and I did that for many years because a lot of my friends, I was a baseball coach, and very athletic. I was one of my hobbies was shark fishing. I used to fish for sharks, and a lot of these guys that I hung around with were alcoholics, and some of them were taking some drugs, and I got tied up with them, and that didn't help. So I just go right along with them. But by the same token, Monday morning we would be at work, so we were actually functioning, but we are still alcoholics. So
okay. Yeah. Okay, sir. Now, one of the things that I also noticed, you said you actually alluded to it that most of the people have some kind of a genetic predisposition to addiction, either drug or alcohol. And you also said that there's one other thing that was fascinating. So I wanted to ask you, before you became an addict or alcohol or drug addict, were you have any kind of obsessive compulsive type indulgence, that you were obsessive about something? Do you have that kind of a feeling, or did you act out or anything like that?
Yeah, I knew when I first started drinking beer when I was about 17. I knew that I liked it too much.
Okay.
And I would drink every day.
Okay.
Also, there was you spoke of earlier about genetic disposition towards it.
Uh-huh.
A lot of researchers now and a lot of people are finding out that it's a hereditary, and they're calling it a disease.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hereditary disease, and a lot of people have it, and it's a very tough, it's a very bad disease to have. It really is.
And you don't know when it's going to strike either, because depending upon what circumstances you are in. That's very interesting. Now, why do you think you in your case, is there any other reason? I mean, is there any family? Were you abused when you were a young child, or is there anything like that? Because I know some of the other. Okay.
I came from a really good, normal family.
Uh-huh.
But I must say, my father would drink beer every single night and take the medication called Librium, which is a narcotic. So actually,
Librium is actually given to you when you were going out of alcohol, when you were when you were withdrawing from alcohol, right?
Yeah, because Librium?
Yeah.
Yeah, normally that's what they give Librium tape for. But my dad would get it, and he would take Librium plus he would drink every night.
Wow.
So that could be part of my predisposition coming from that. So when you watch your father drink every night,
right?
You grow up thinking that's the thing to do, and that's what happened to me.
Well,
and I don't blame my father for my situation. I really don't. But I didn't understand. I did not realize I was becoming an alcoholic until later in life, because, like I said, I always functioned. I was always writing. I had a band. I wrote a lot of songs for, different record companies in Nashville. You know, I was a very busy, functional guy. Plus, I had a real job.
Uh-huh.
And I managed my son's baseball. I taught my son guitar,
Uh-huh.
guitar lessons. I mean, I did everything. But by the same token, I was drinking every single night, and I had to face the fact that I couldn't do that anymore, and that I was an alcoholic. And once you face it and you realize that you're not alone. I mean, when I was in rehab, I met some famous people that everybody that's listening to us right now would know right away.
Oh, really? Okay.
I can't mention their names. They're famous people.
Yeah, really. I mean, we don't want them to be mentioned here either. So, but
no. See, all the names in the book, Blood on the Ceiling, all the names in that book that I have in my hand right now are they're fictitious names. They're, you know,
right.
In other words, if somebody's real name might be Bill, in the book I might have changed it to Ed.
Okay.
So nobody knows. You know, so we keep the tradition of anonymity because it's very important.
You know, for a drug addict, it's easier for them to pretty much hide it from others to some extent. You know, I actually in your book you were talking about Crystal, the drug counselor who was actually an addict until the prisoners rat her out, right? That she's a junkie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But, they noticed it.
Yeah, go ahead.
They noticed that she was a correctional officer type thing, and you know, on her break she would go out and smoke crack.
But the addicts knew very well what she's up to. But the
prisoners, who a lot of them were addicts, they figured it out, and they told her superiors, and that's how she wound up in the rehab that I was in. That's how I got to know her, and I thought her story was interesting, so I put it in the book.
Yeah, that's fascinating. The book is a very good, very excellent book. It's available at Amazon.com, and you can also, ladies and gentlemen, go to the website www.bloodontheceiling.com. And now that website is active, right, Nelson?
Yes, www.bloodontheceiling.com.
Okay.
From there, you can order the book at Amazon, or you can go straight to Amazon. Or you can go to Barnes and Noble or eBooks, anything. It's available on all those. Most people have been getting it on Amazon, but it doesn't matter. Wherever it's easiest for you to get it. And
all right.
You know.
We have to, Nelson, we have to take a break. We are on the second segment of this. We are coming to a conclusion on this. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Dallas Live. I am your host, Dr. R.C. The number to call is 469-306-1642, 307-1642, 307-1642. And we will be right back after the commercial break. Nelson, please stay on the line.
Yes, sir.